I'm such a big nerd for this. Now look at us. Look at us. Bit of a controversial opinion. Castonitis, cast on fever, joy, 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 dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. I'm just revealing too much of myself on the internet. Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Smash Knits Knitting Podcast. Today is episode 14, which is super exciting. Now, before we get into everything, I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land, the Boonwurrung people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to elders, past and present. I've got a couple of exciting things to show you guys. I have one finished object, and then I have, I think, like 5 whips, might even be one more, so maybe 5 or 6 whips. Quite a few of these you guys haven't actually seen on this channel, but if you do follow me on Instagram, you probably, seen them on there. And if you don't know, I do have a Smash Knits Instagram. I post kind of updates and things like that of the whips that I'm working on and my finished objects. So if you want to see more of my knitting and learn a little bit more about me, feel free to check that out at smash.knits. Now, I did mention my Wendigo vlog in my last podcast episode, and I did intend to release it before this episode. However, I'm really struggling to get this vlog out. So when I was in Bendigo, probably no one will know this except for my close friends and of course John, but I was actually going through a really hard time, like personally, emotionally, physically. I was just like going through it. I was like in the trenches. So looking back at that footage and just watching hours of myself like in that headspace kind of, I don't know, like bums me out, to be completely honest. It kind of makes me feel sad. So I've been just really struggling to edit this vlog. So I think instead I'm going to create a separate video where I just talk about my like personal experience there. Obviously not the so sad personal stuff, but the good stuff, and show you guys everything that I purchased at Bendigo. So that'll be a separate video and that'll be coming shortly. So I really appreciate you guys understanding. I understand that some of you wanted like more of a vlog style, but it's really hard to watch myself back knowing what I was going through at the time. Now, on a positive note, we have reached 1,000 subscribers here on the Smash Knits Knitting channel. Actually, we've well exceeded that, but I'm not very good at doing things on time or on schedule. So we're doing a giveaway and we're going to do it now. So I know it's a bit late. Thanks you guys for like being very patient, but I am very excited for this giveaway. So let's get into it quickly about what is in the giveaway. So the first thing, of course, I don't think this will be a surprise to anyone, will be the sock project book by Summer Lee. So if you followed my channel for a while, you've watched some of my videos, you know I absolutely love Summer Lee. I love her designs and I love this book. I purchased this earlier in the year and it's so good. My copy is not as nice and clean as this one. Mine's a bit beat up, but you will get the chance to win this plus 2 other prizes. I just love it. So if you don't already know what this book is, it is a book written by Summer Lee. She is a prolific sock designer. And in this book you get 25 patterns. There's like 5 heel types and each chapter is like a different kind of type of sock. So like, for example, we have like colorwork socks, we have like cable socks, striped socks, textured socks, like all kinds of different socks in there. And she gives you like tips and tricks on like how to do color work, how to do stripes, how to like weave in your ends, all this really handy stuff. And I just really love it. It's a great book. It has like such a diverse range of patterns in it and it's really simple to read. And just like the overall layout of the book is like super beautiful. Like it's just like so nice. It's so beautiful. It's an amazing book and I would highly recommend it. So I thought, I talk about it so highly, I might as well give one away to one of you guys. So yeah, it's just like super cool book. And she also designed it so that in each of the chapters, you start off with like an easier, like low difficulty sock and then you can go up to a high difficulty sock. So if you're newer to sock knitting, you can start off with the easier patterns and then go to the challenge yourself for a more difficult one. So that was the first prize. So all like these prizes are all in like one bundle, so there'll be like one prize winner. They're not like separate prizes. So that's the first one. Then the second one I think is really, really cool. I actually have purchased one for myself because I loved it so much. I had to get one for myself and one for you guys. And that is one of these. So this is, Erst Wilder is a Melbourne-based designer, and she designs all of these amazing kind of like brooches and accessories, earrings, things like that, necklaces. They're so gorgeous. And she released an arts and crafts collection. And in this she had like paintbrushes and stuff like that, but she also had knitting things. And so this is it here. So this is a brooch. How gorgeous is that? So this is a brooch with like knitting and like the little yarn ball. It is so beautiful. I'm absolutely obsessed. I have it one myself and it's just so, so cute. And I don't know if the light's doing this justice. I'll hold it back here. Yeah. The light is like, it's like gorgeous and pink, and then like it's got like a bit of pinky red, and I think it's like so cute. It's so, so cute. I'm absolutely obsessed. I have one myself. Oh my God, there's fluff everywhere, but yeah, it's so cute. So they're designed in Melbourne, and so they're a little like treat from home, and I love them. I love them so much. And each of her designs that she releases, she also has like a little description and like a little story, and it says never trust, oh, it's called a stitch in time, sorry. She said, never trust anyone who would look to pull the wool over your eyes unless of course they've just knitted you an extra large jumper for the coming cold season. So that's that. So it's so cute. So you'll get this, and you'll get the Summerly sock project book. Cute. And then you will also get a mystery skein. So I thought it would be fun, because people love like mystery and knit-alongs, to do a mystery skein. So you'll get one skein of luxury sock yarn, hand dyed in either like probably something maybe speckled, lightly speckled, or variegated, or maybe a solid, something really fun and colorful to match the like vibes of the book. And it'll be a mystery, which I think is kind of exciting. Of course, like expect probably something with color, because you know I do love my colors. But yeah, I thought that would be a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting, a bit of a surprise. So it'll be one skein of like 100 gram skein of sock yarn. In the giveaway, you'll get the Summerly project book, and then you'll also get the Erst Wilder brooch. And if you would like to participate in this giveaway, it's really, really simple. All you have to do is comment down below what pattern you would want to knit first out of the Summerly book. And just make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and as well as follow me on Instagram. So I'll also have a post over on my Instagram as well. So if you want to comment on that post, you'll also go in the run to win the giveaway. So very, very exciting. I love doing a giveaway, and this is open internationally, so I'm happy to ship it wherever you are worldwide. Thank you so much for hitting 1,000 subscribers, and thank you so much, probably by the time this goes out, it'll be like, it's way more than that. No, I really, really appreciate it, and for your patience. And I just, you know, I'm one of those kids who like grew up on YouTube, so I didn't really watch a lot of TV growing up, but I did watch a lot of YouTube. And so for me to, you know, be sharing my own content on YouTube and be part of the YouTube community is so surreal to me, because it's something that I've always wanted as a kid. And I'm just like super grateful that I found, you know, something I'm really passionate about, and I can share that with people who are also passionate about. Like, I love being a nerd for knitting. Like, I'm such a big nerd for knitting. I love it. And I love that you guys are too. So thank you so much. And I just wanted to show my appreciation, because yeah, I love you guys so much. So thank you. And I'm excited for whoever gets this. I'm super excited. Also, if the lighting slightly changes in this video, it's because I'm filming in the afternoon. So hopefully the sun doesn't go down by the time I've finished filming. I think that's everything now for housekeeping. So let's get into the finished objects. Alrighty, so my one and only finished object for this episode is the Colorwork Cuff Club by Summerly Designs. You would have seen me working on this last time in my last episode, and I have finished it. I've got 2 whole socks here. Yay! And if you're not familiar with the Colorwork Cuff Club, it is like a pattern by Summer Lee, but it's a bit a unique one. So the way that it works is that you pay for like the pattern one time, and she provides you with a base pattern as well as a Colorwork cuff chart, and you plug that into like the base pattern, which is just like a vanilla sock. And every single month she'll release a new Colorwork chart that you can just like input into the base pattern. Every month. But in the first month, which was August, she did give you like a bonus pattern. So you had 2. And then I think for like other, like probably Christmas or like, you know, the holidays and Halloween, I think she said that she might release like extra bonus patterns. So the idea is that you get 12 total Colorwork cuff patterns over the span of a year, like one for each month. But she has obviously released one, like a bonus one, and then she'll release extra bonus one. So you're getting pretty good value, and you only have to pay for it once. I know for August she did have it discounted, so I think it's like full price now, and at discount it was 20 Australian dollars, which was like $12.50 or something, 12-ish dollars USD. But I don't know how much it is now. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty fun so far. So yes, this is my Colorwork cuff sock, and I'm just like absolutely stoked. Absolutely love it. And the one that I did is the August one. So this was the first one. And this has this gorgeous kind of mid-century modern flower motif that you can see there. It's so, so cute. And then the rest is just a vanilla sock. She has 2x1 ribbing at the top. And then I did just a standard slip stitch heel, because that's what I like to do. I'm used to that. And then she doesn't have a contrast toe in her pattern, but I just decided to do it because I thought it looked really cute all tied together, you know, so that these match. I think that looks really cute. So it's not just like one random color and there's no like kind of connection. I like some sort of coordination. I'm just like so obsessed with it. And so the yarn that I'm using for the base and for the Colorwork actually is the same. It's Spun Right Round Tough Sock. And this is a 3-ply light fingering weight yarn, this one here, and it is 75% merino, 25% nylon, and I absolutely love this yarn. I think it's so, so fun. I think the color is beautiful. So this is in the color A Wink and a Nod, and this is kind of like a duck egg blue with kind of like grello and brown and orangey flecks in it. I think that looks awesome. And then for the Colorwork, I'm using this, which is coming up a bit more mustardy on the camera, but it's actually more greeny yellow. I call it grello, but the actual color is called Mantis, and it's in the same base as the other one, and I absolutely love it. I've been wanting to use these two together for a while because I think they look so good, and I think I found the perfect pattern for them. So I'm so stoked with how these turned out. I think they look really, really cute. Oh yeah, I've got the other sock here, but it's not blocked because I thought it would be good to kind of show you guys what it kind of looks like, the Colorwork pre and post block. So you can see obviously like this is a lot more relaxed. The tension is like kind of scrunching it up a little bit. So yeah, if you're worried that like it won't look good, like don't worry, because blocking makes such a difference. It neatens everything up and makes it look so, so nice. Yeah. And it's a really nice yarn to work with. I find like 3-plies just like have a bit more like roundness or plumpness to the actual strand, which makes them like really lovely to work with, especially I think with Colorwork. I think anything that has like kind of not consistent kind of strands doesn't look very good, but you can see that this is like quite nice and round and very consistently spun. So it's just a joy to work with. Summer Lee recommends to use 2.25 millimeter needles when doing the cuff and the rest, like the actual like ribbing, and the rest of the sock. For this Colorwork section, she recommends using 2.75 millimeter needles, just because when you do Colorwork, you tend to be quite tight, and because the floats on the inside, these bits, where you're like carrying the yarn, like doesn't really stretch that much. She just wants to give you extra ease so you can get it over like your foot, which makes sense because the first time I actually knit this, I knit like the whole ribbing, the cuff in the size medium, and that's what I usually use because it's like a 64 stitch cast on. However, my arches are very high, so I, knew that was the wrong decision. I should have made a large because I couldn't get over my feet. So I've actually knit this Colorwork cuff 3 times technically. 1, 2, and then the first time, but then I had to rip it all out and start again because I made the wrong size and I couldn't get over my big damn feet. So yep. So I would recommend using the 2.75 because it really does make a difference. I know some people worry because if they're using thinner yarn that it wasn't looked a bit like a gapey. And I guess it really depends on your particular tension. If you're not I'm fine. I'm like a medium tensioner. I wouldn't say I'm tight, but I wouldn't say I'm like super loose either. I would say like I'm medium. If you are like have looser gauge, then maybe you will only have to use like a 2.5, but if you're a tight knitter, I would definitely size up to a 2.75 because you want to be able to get it over your foot after all that work. No, I really love it. I'm super obsessed. I can't wait to wear these. I think they're giving kind of like autumn vibes with the colors, but we're actually in spring at the moment, but I'm obsessed. I love them. I keep looking at them in the view monitor because they're so pretty. Yeah, I love this. I would definitely make again. I really want to make these again in like a burnt orange with like a light orange, like almost like pinky beige flower, but I'm waiting to see the next Colorwork chart before I commit to doing another flower motif, even though they're so cute. And I've actually got another Colorwork cuff project to show you in my whips, so stay tuned because that's coming very soon. So that's everything I have for my finished objects. Very short, very simple, and very sweet. There's really not a lot to talk about when it comes to socks. But now we're going to get into our whips. Oh my God, you're going to love these. Okay, so the first whip I'm going to show you is one that you saw in my last podcast episode as well. And that is the very varied vest by Lydia Morrow. And this is a multi-vest pattern. So there's lots of different options. It's like round necks, V-necks, split front, not split front, intarsia, so many different options. I decided to knit the V-neck because I don't have a V-neck vest. I had like a crew neck vest, which I love, which is in bright pink, I actually wore in my last episode. Anyway, but I really wanted a V-neck. So this is my first V-neck vest and I'm loving it so far. And I feel like I made so much progress since I saw you guys last. I'll quickly mention the yarn. So the yarn that I'm using to knit this is actually a combination. So I've got for the main body and the ribbing, I've used the Noro Silk Garden Sock Solo in this beautiful color, which is in the color T16. And this I got from Little Woolies, and it is 40% wool, 25% silk, 25% polyamide, which is probably nylon, and 10% mohair, and you get 300 meters in 100 grams. And then I'm pairing that for the main body with the Little Woolies Lacy Fluff in this color Fresh. I think this is a 75% mohair, 25% silk, something like that. I don't have the tag, so I can't tell you exactly, but everything will be linked down below. And I'm pairing these two together to make this vest, and I think they're just like perfect together. I don't know if it's coming up on the camera very clearly, but yes, those are the two I'm pairing together. I absolutely love these. It's not like, I wouldn't call it rustic at all, the Noro. It's just like grippy. It is like soft. It's not silky, but it is like soft. And then this, of course, is like very silky, very silky and very, very bright. And I just love these two together. So that's what I'm holding together in this vest. So that's for the main body, and you can see that there. And last time I spoke to you guys, I'm trying to show this fully. Last time I spoke to you guys, I had done the back and I had just started the ribbing on the front. So it's ribbing here. So the way that this works is that it's a bottom up, sewn together vest pattern, which really did make me hesitate. I really liked the pattern. I really liked how the vest looked. But there was two things that I had I was very hesitant on. The first thing was oh, okay, a bottom up sewn garment. Never done that before. I've only really done things from the top down seamless, and picking up stitches is pretty much as I've done. I haven't sewn anything together. And then it also was the pattern price is quite expensive. So I was a bit like, ooh, it's a lot of money. It's like $30 Australian for the pattern, which is like 15 Great British pounds. But luckily she does provide coupon codes if you're interested, or if you're from like a low income background and can't afford to pay that high price. She does have options, which is really great. So I think there's like a code for 33% and then 50% as well. So that is an option. But I thought, I like learning. Let's try something different. It's a vest, so it's not like I have to sew like full sleeves. And so far I'm really liking it. So you start by making the back panel and knitting from like starting at the bottom and then knitting up and then doing your decreases. Yeah, and binding off so that you can create the armholes. And then you kind of do the same thing. You bind off to do the neck, and then you do the front, and it's kind of the same thing, but you're doing it like with the V, and then you sew them together using, she just said sew them together. I decided to do a mattress stitch because that just seemed fun. It looked really satisfying. And I'm really happy with my mattress stitch. I think the Noro really helps because you can't really tell, especially on this side, you can't really tell where the stitch is. Oh, okay, maybe you can. When you're wearing it, you can't really tell. But I found the mattress stitch to be really easy and actually really fun. And I think because it's only this much, it's not like a huge amount. It's a very cropped vest. So you're not sewing up for ages. And on the inside, it does have a seam, but it's actually not too bad. The seam is not terribly annoying. I thought it was fine. I actually thought it was really satisfying. It did seem a bit intimidating, but I'm very happy with it. And then the way that you connect the top is by doing a 3-needle bind off. So that's really, really easy. I love doing a 3-needle bind off. It sounds complicated because it's 3 needles, but it's really just knitting 2 together essentially. So since I last saw you, I've knit the whole front panel, I've sewn up the sides, and I've even picked up stitches and knit the ribbing on the armhole. And I've even bound it off. So it's just 1x1 ribbing on all of the ribbing. And I decided, which I mentioned in my last podcast episode, to omit the fluff from the ribbing because I wasn't sure if I would have enough. But obviously, as you can see, I definitely had enough. I think I just barely broke into this ball when doing the body. So I have a lot. I have all this left over. However, like I said before, it's actually kind of good in a way because I don't like mohair up against my skin. I find it quite itchy, and I'm planning to wear this vest with a garment underneath. However, the neck and the sleeves and stuff like that still might touch my skin. So the fact that I'm not doing any mohair in those areas kind of works out because it makes it less itchy and less irritating for me when I wear it. So all's good in the end. But yeah, for the bind off, I was a bit concerned actually because a few people that I know that have had to bind off using Noro have complained that it breaks because it's not a really tightly spun yarn. So sometimes it can break, and I was a little bit worried because I was doing a sewn bind off that it would break because with a sewn bind off, you're pretty much you cut the length of the yarn to prior to weaving it out. It's not you're knitting where you will grab what you need. You already have a predetermined amount of yarn to bind off, and you're having to pull that full amount of yarn through the stitches as you do the bind off, which will slowly weaken it over the time. So by the time you get to the end, it might from the friction be weaker. So I was kind of very concerned and was being very gentle to make sure that I wasn't going to break the yarn, and success I didn't. And I think the bind off looked really good. So I did an Italian bind off, which is kind of imitates the edges of the stitches. So some people might call it a tubular bind off. I don't know, but it kind of looks seamless. It doesn't look like you've bound off at all. It looks really, really seamless, and I love it. I think it's great. I think it's really easy to do. It's just time consuming, but that's any kind of sewn bind off. It will be time consuming. The actual vest itself isn't very time consuming. It is an 8-ply vest technically, but with mine held together, it kind of varied from an 8-ply to a Aran weight, just because Noro is very inconsistent with its thickness. But I think it looks really awesome. I love the color. I think the color looks really, really awesome. I don't know if it's doing it justice with the lighting currently, but I love the color. It is very, very cropped, and I think that's one of the issues that I see people have with bottom-up garments, is that because you're not able to try it on, you can't really determine the length very well. So I am a bit concerned that it is like, that it is very cropped. It does come like on my, like, it does come to my waist, but it is very high up. So I do hope that it does stretch a little bit, does grow a bit, but I guess we'll see. We will see. But I love it. I think it's so cute. And I think it's really a really cute vest pattern. I'm keen to make other ones, but I probably will make, if I made this in the future again, I probably would do it longer. The only thing I have left to do is literally the other armhole and the ribbing around the neck, and then I'm literally done. And I was kind of also worried because like that this armhole was so gapey when I put it on. It looked crazy, but I don't know if you can see that, but you can see how cinched in this becomes when you put the ribbing on, because this looks crazy wide. Like, look how crazy that armhole looks. But when you put the ribbing on, oh, it's like cinches in so well. I'm actually so happy. So the needles I am using for this project are the recommended needle sizes. So it's 3.75 for the body, and then it's actually 3.25 for the ribbing, but I did 3mm because that's what it says on the Ravelry page, and I didn't check the actual pattern. I just looked at the Ravelry page, so I'm actually using 3mm needles. That's fine. I think the ribbing turned out really well, like on the bottom and on the sleeves. However, I realized that I don't really like knitting with 3mm interchangeable needles, and I think that's solely just because of my needle set. The actual needles are quite long, so I feel like I'm going to snap at them, and it makes me a little anxious when I knit with it, so I'm like extra careful not to like put too much tension on them. I didn't get gauge on those needle sizes. I think I got row gauge, but I didn't get stitch gauge. But sometimes I just can't be bothered, really. Sometimes I really can't be bothered. I knit the swatch and I'm just like, I'll just work around it. I'm sure it'll be fine. And I think it is working out fine. But I think that's more like dumb luck and not actually knitting experience. I don't think I have that intuition yet. Yeah, a lot of the time I think I just swatch because I want to see the yarn knit up. I don't really think it's mostly because of gauge. I do check the gauge, and if I'm on gauge, I'm like, woo! But if I'm not, I'm like, that'll be right. I don't actually decide to swatch again. I don't know. Call me a lazy knitter, but that's just me. But yes, that is my very, very vest. And if you didn't already know, everything I mentioned here today is size inclusive. So it caters for a bust size of 60 inches plus positive ease. So this is a size inclusive space, and I do have a list of size inclusive patterns in a Ravelry bundle linked down below. Just like everything will be linked down below. So if I have not mentioned anything, you'll be able to find out more information there. So the next project I want to talk about, I'm super excited, and it's kind of been like the one that I've been flying through. If you're on my Instagram, you would have seen this, but this, like, I feel like I'm showing you this for the first time, and it's unbelievable the amount of progress I'm on, because I feel like I shouldn't be this far ahead and not have shown you guys already. But here it is. This is my Salty Days sweater by Kutovakika, and I am knitting this as a part of the Salty Days sweater knit along that Morgan Unraveled and Haley's Space are hosting. And I've never done a knit along, a KAL as they say, before, and I just thought, you know what, I really want to try one. And I had this yarn in stash. So this is Knit Picks palette in the color Bluebell, which is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. It's actually a really good affordable yarn. I've had this in stash for over a year. Like, I've had it for ages, and I absolutely love the color. It's this beautiful kind of like periwinkle color. Yeah, actually, here we go. There's like periwinkle color. It's absolutely so gorgeous. But every other project that I've swatched with it, I just didn't like. And so I think my intention was to make the Mauricia cardigan by Vert and Rose. But yeah, I just like didn't like how that swatched up. But I really, really love the color. So I decided, you know what, I should use this. I think this would look really nice as Salty Days. And I did up a swatch and it looks so good. And now look at me. Now look at us. Look at us. I've got almost like, I've pretty much got a whole body. So this Salty Day sweater is by Kutovakika, and it's this beautiful kind of textured sweater. It has lace work, it has the ribbing. So you've got like ribbing, these eyelet rows, which are really, really pretty. Then you've got like these cable sections with the garter stitch, more eyelets, more lace. Like this ribbing here is actually 1x2 ribbing, which is knit 1, purl 2. And then at the bottom you've got another eyelet row before doing a twisted rib, half twisted rib. And that's what I'm doing now. So now I'm doing the back ribbing at the bottom. I decided to do a split hem, which is why I'm doing just the back and then I'll do the front. She doesn't recommend, like she doesn't say to do a split hem, but I like my garments to fit that way. So that's what I decided to do. And I think it looks really, really cool. I think it looks really nice. She also has like these eyelet details on the back of the shoulders as well, where you pick up stitches. Oh, geez, sorry, I'm clanging and banging around. But yeah, I think it looks absolutely stunning. So, so pretty. And I really didn't think that I would get this far through it. Like the KAL started on September the 1st. And I think I started on like the last day of August. So what's the date now? Like the 21st. When I'm filming this. So it is pretty quick, like 3 weeks of progress. Usually I wouldn't have like a whole body done in 3 weeks. Usually it would take me forever, especially something so textured. So I'm very, very happy. I think the reason for this is because you knit these on a 5mm needle. So quite a big needle. And each section is just like so potato chippy or like more-ish, where you just want more. You just want to, like, as soon as you do like one section, you want to finish that and you want to get to the next section. And then you want to get to the next and then the next. And then it just like feels like these like mini accomplishments, which makes it really engaging to knit. The cat's ripping up the carpet. Yeah, absolutely love it so far. I know a few people in the KAL have been concerned about the fit. Like quite a few people have mentioned that they're worried that it's a bit too small, the fit's a bit tight. I think for my body, so far, it fits, like I think it fits really well. It is a bit short, so I'm hoping that it does block out to be a bit longer. And I'm only really concerned about the sleeves because it's got ribbing pretty much all the way down the sleeve, and then there's like a bit of like lace work and other ribbing down here. My concern and a lot of people's issues is that the ribbing like really cinches in the arms, where you kind of want it more of a relaxed fit. So when you pick up stitches, there's only like 2 numbers that she gives you to pick up the stitches around that like armhole. So I might end up going up to the larger size and picking up more stitches and going off that sleeve chart, because I'm just really worried that it's going to be too tight, and I don't want this to be a tight jumper. I want this to be like a really fun, loose, throw on, comfy sweater. And I think because of the lace details, I think this is really good for transitional weather, because it's not like heavy, woolly, like super insulating. It's got that, like, it'll have that nice insulating property, but it'll also be like breathable because it's got all of the lace and eyelets. And this is knit top down. So you start by knitting the back panel. So you cast on here, knit the back panel until you get to like the armhole pretty much. Then you pick up stitches along here, knit these sections, cast on stitches, and then you knit until you eventually connect in the round under the sleeves and keep going. My favorite part to knit is definitely these lace rows. I think the diamonds are so fun. I think it's really cool and I absolutely love them. However, when you connect down here in this section, you do have to do, it's infamous really at this point in the KAL, but there on this like section here is called chart C, and row 5 is kind of where this one particular stitches where you have to continue the pattern but also be at the beginning of the round. It's very awkward. And a lot of people I have noticed have had issues with this and have been like talking about how like the pattern is like confusing or it's like wrong, and they've had like quite a few complaints about the pattern. I personally haven't had this experience. There is a big like blurb right next to the chart that specifically tells you like what to do for row 5, and I don't know if it's like because it's not highlighted, it's just like in plain text that people aren't seeing that and they're not reading it. Yeah, it is a bit confusing, but if you just like read it step to step, like you literally knit as you read, it should be pretty clear what to do. I understand it's not super obvious that description is there, but it is there. So like quite a lot of people have been saying that the pattern's written wrong, and I just personally, I find I didn't have an issue. Like row 5 chart C was fine for me. I think just people are missing that blurb, but I don't know, maybe it's just because like maybe it's my size, I'm knitting the extra large, and so far every single chart, every single instruction has had no issues. Like it's all been correct and clear and the counts have been right. So I don't know if it's just specifically like my size, maybe like the medium and small sizes there are issues, but for me, for the extra large, I didn't have any issues, and I found this like quite like enjoyable and pretty clear. So that's just my personal experience. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, just because I've been seeing a lot of people who have been like saying that there's been having issues, but I just personally haven't been having the same issues. So I'm not too sure if it's just because of my size, but yeah, I can understand like how sometimes it can be confusing, but yeah, I just thought I would like let you guys know that, like, you know, don't be scared that like if you knit this pattern that everything's going to go wrong, because like I've been doing fine and I think this pattern's quite well written personally. I know everyone has their own pattern tastes and it might be like a bit of a controversial opinion because some people are like, oh, there's too much information or there's not enough information. I've followed some pretty bad patterns before and this is one of the good ones. So it's not like the best, but it's definitely doable. She is quite like descriptive and maybe some people don't like that, but I appreciate it because more information is better when I'm trying to do something like this. So no, I really like it and I'm just having a really good time. I feel like I've just flown through it. Like I'm already at the bottom ribbing. Soon I'll be picking up stitches for the sleeves and then I might do the collar maybe before I continue on to do the sleeves, just so that I can make sure my sleeve length is correct, because this will like ultimately be pulled in. So maybe I'll do that, but yeah, I'm really liking it. And the yarn, like I said before, is Knit Pig's palette. This is actually quite an affordable yarn. Knit Pigs is based in the US, I think. Yeah, I think so. They're a US company, I'm pretty sure. And they have a bunch of really good quality, affordable yarns, and palette was probably one of the first ever yarns I bought from them. I knit my Cumulus blouse in palette, held with like a alpaca Suri, and I love that jumper. It's beautiful, but I've never knit with the palette by itself, and I must say I'm actually having quite a good time. It's like bouncy, because I'm holding two strands together, sorry, I should say. It's quite bouncy, it's nice. Like I noticed at the start I was kind of intimidated because it seems like it's like quite loosely spun, but when held together it's actually really nice because it's a fingering weight. So when you hold it together, you get like an 8-ply, but I think because knitting at a larger needle size you can get away with you having it as a worsted. But yeah, it's nice. It's like soft, it's not rustic, but it's like grippy. So if your stitches slide off your needles, they won't like ladder down. Like they've got some sort of like grippiness to them, which I really appreciate. But then when I'm knitting on them with my needles, it does feel like they're just like gliding around and it's just like, ooh, so fast. So that's been really nice. I really, really love this. And it's called palette because there's like 1,000,001 colors. So there's huge, like heaps to pick from, which is great if you're doing colorwork. So I definitely want to do colorwork sweater out of some of this Knit Pig's palette because I've really been enjoying using it. Ooh, one last thing I really want to quickly mention actually is that for the body, like I said before, you use a 5mm needle. Great, love it. But for the ribbing, the half twisted rib, she some reason makes you go down to a 3mm needle. I just feel like that jump is too big, and I actually started knitting my like half twisted rib in the 3mm needle, and it was like way too tight and looked really funny, especially because this is going to be like a split hem. I just felt like it was really cinching in the ribbing and it was going to look really kind of funky. So I ended up ripping it out after 8 rows and doing it in a 3.5, and I think this looks way nicer. I think it's still really neat, you know, but I think this kind of doesn't look like as weird because it was very, very tight compared to this kind of 1x2 ribbing that you've got there. So that's just a little note. I probably would recommend going to a 3.5 and not the 3mm that she suggests, because that's just like a crazy jump. I just don't like it. So that was kind of like a fun little surprise whip that I got to show you guys. Now for more surprise whips. Yeah, I've just had cast-on-itis, cast-on fever. I've just been casting on everything. Joy, 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 dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. Yeah, that's just what it's been. And this project gives me major dopamine. I think the last project also gives me dopamine, and both of these projects have something in common. They're both using stash yarn, and I think like using my stash yarn is making me feel really good. It like feels good to be like, okay, I didn't buy yarn, so I didn't spend money, and I'm using my stash yarn, which means I'm like, you know, being good. So I actually feel really good that I'm getting this out of my stash, because I don't know if you were like me as a child, but I kind of like gave inanimate objects like a personality and a life. Like I had like a collection of Beanie Babies. Beanie Kids. So I had like a massive collection of Beanie Kids, and I used to like sit them all at the end of my bed when I went to sleep as a kid, because I felt bad if one of them wasn't at the end of my bed, that it would feel unloved and left out. So I like made sure that they were all there. That's how I feel sometimes about my yarn. Yeah, I feel like when I don't use my yarn, I feel like it's sad because it's being left alone and not loved anymore. So I feel really good using my stash yarn, because it's like, yay, like you are loved, and I am using you, and I'm not leaving you out. I'm just revealing too much of myself on the internet, truly. Anyway, that's how I feel. So it feels nice to use my stash yarn. That's really all I needed to say. I didn't really need to go into all that. But anyway, alrighty. I think you guys are going to like, scream, because I'm obsessed. So recently I saw on Instagram, Tori, you released the pattern called the Metropolitan Pullover, which is a gorgeous top-down kind of contiguous raglan jumper with these beautiful little eyelets over the kind of sleeve details. It's so beautiful, and I thought, oh, that's like stunning. Again, like it's lightweight, it's got these eyelets. I think, sorry about the cat, she's really wanting to go outside to see Dad. I just thought it was so beautiful and a perfect transition piece. And I was thinking, I was like, God, it's so nice. I wonder what I would like want to make it in. Like, I don't really want to make it in a, okay, I know. I don't really want to make it in a, like a heavy 100% wool. And I remembered I had from literally almost a year ago. So I purchased this in October, the Woolen Works lace Suri silk in the color Gloria that she it's coming undone, that she released for the Barbie collection. It's so beautiful. So this is 74% baby Suri alpaca and 26% silk. It's 50 grams in a skein or a hank, and you get 300 meters, and it's so beautiful. It's like pinky with these like orange sections and these light pink sections, and there's almost white sections. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's like inspired by Gloria, the character from the Barbie movie, and it's so pretty. And I bought this literally October last year, so I've had this in my stash for ages, and I think I had like 5 skeins, so like 2,000 meters of this, and I've been trying to find the best pattern to use it with, and I've swatched so many times. I've swatched with like a pink yarn, I swatched with a white yarn, a dark pink yarn, like trying to find a yarn that like does this justice, because I wanted the colors to really come through, but I wasn't satisfied with anything. But then I was just like, you know what, the Metropolitan Pullover actually for my size uses about 1,000 meters. I've got 2,000 meters here. If I hold this double, maybe I can make it. So that's what I decided to do. And this is how far I've gotten. Oh my God. So I have done the entire yoke. so far and just connected in the round, and it is so beautiful. I don't know if the camera is really picking up because you can, like, there are orangey bits in there. There's like the dark pink speckles, there's the light pink speckles. It is so beautiful, and it is so lightweight and so fluffy and luxurious. Like, it's so soft. Like, I wish you could feel this because it's so luxurious and so soft, and it's like so squishy. It's just absolutely delightful and so lightweight. It's everything a girl could want. But yeah, I'm absolutely obsessed, and I'm so glad that I get to do this yarn justice. I was a bit worried because it is an 8-ply recommended yarn, or it's like a fingering and a lace weight held together, that I wouldn't be able to achieve gauge, but I actually achieved gauge in my first swatch, which was pretty good. You knit this on a 16 stitch gauge, and it's using a 6mm needle, so really big. So I think I cast this on, September the 16th. So like, what's that, like 5 days ago, and I've already finished the entire yoke. Like, I've already done the entire yoke. It just knits up so quickly at this gauge, and because you're not having to pick up stitches or anything like that, there's kind of like no roadblocks. It's a super interesting construction, something that I've never done before. Yeah, it's a super interesting construction because it's like a contiguous construction. So on the top of the sleeve, you've got this like little shoulder cap, and then you kind of increase out from there. And then while you're doing all of this, you've also got, I'm trying to show you, these beautiful kind of yarn over eyelets going down like kind of like a raglan, and then they're also on the top of the sleeve. And I just think this makes it so much fun, and it's like a beautiful little detail that is just really thoughtful and looks really nice. Yeah, it just looks really pretty. I think it just looks really lovely, and it's just an interesting construction. Now you do have to, I think, eventually pick up stitches for the collar and do kind of like a rolled collar look. And then you have 2 options for the sleeve, so you can either do like a straight sleeve or a like a little bit of a flared sleeve. I think I want to do the flared sleeve, but it really just depends on if I end up having enough yarn left over. So I'm almost, this is what I've got so far after doing the yoke. So yeah, not a lot left. And I know that one of my skeins has like a weird blotch of purple in it, so I'm hoping that I don't really have to use that, but it might be just something that I might have to use. And kind of try and incorporate it so it blends well. That's the only thing that I'm worried about with hand-dyed yarn, is that like, yeah, like you can get kind of pooling, or like maybe because each batch is a bit different. So I don't know if they're from the same batch or not. So the recommended ease on this pattern is 4 to 6 inches. I usually like to go up and go for like more positive ease. However, I didn't want this to stretch out too much because this is silk and alpaca. I know it's not as elastic as normal wool, like a merino wool. So I was kind of conscious that, oh, if this stretches, it's stay and stretch. So I decided to go towards the size that gives me like still positive ease, but more around that like 3.5 to 4 inches, so that if this does grow, it's still going to look like nicely tailored and not oversized and kind of weird. Even now, like I really hope that like the neck doesn't get any bigger, because I don't want like this currently where the eyelets are. This section currently sits like right on my shoulder, which is where it should be, and I don't want it to like ride down and look a bit odd. So I'm kind of a little bit stressed about that, but I think it should be fine because it's so lightweight. I don't think there'd be much dragging it down. Yeah, I'm super in love with that, and I think that's so gorgeous and very luxurious. Like, this won't be a cheap sweater, but this was very much like a special buy. I think I got it at the yarn show market. I can't remember what it's called, at Castlemaine when I went there last year in October. It's a baby. Say hello. Hello, baby. Hello. She wants none of it. She's on a mission and I'm in her way. Alrighty, so I'm going to talk about another Colorwork Cuff Club sock. This one here is again the Colorwork Cuff Club by Summer Lee. However, it is still the August one because she released 2 charts in the month of August, and the month of September was really cute, but I think I got a bit confused or like a bit stressed about picking the colors. I just couldn't find colors in my stash that kind of did this kind of checkered pattern justice, and I really did like the other Colorwork chart from August, so I already had like in my mind an idea of what I wanted to do. So I decided to cast that on, and I think it's really cute. And here it is. Oh my God, isn't that so cute? So this is like a granny blanket or something, they say, granny blanket pattern. And I think it looks so, so cute. It's definitely a lot more colorwork because you're not working with just 2 colors like the other cuff. It is like, how many colors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 colors, I guess, in the actual colorwork, and then you just pick like a plain color. This is like a off-white. It's coming up much more yellow on the camera, I think, just because the lighting here is a bit funky because it is like getting dark, but it's so cute. So I'm just going to quickly rattle off the different colors and the different yarns. So this is a really light pink by Rosario's. This is their Maya sock base, and this is kind of like a almost a sport weight, I would say. It's a very thick 4-ply, but it's really, really good. I really like it for colorwork. Then this is Lang Yarns Yavol. This one here is the Tôt le Matin Toe sock. This one in Bolero, that one's Bolero. This greeny grellowy one is the Spun Right Round in Mantis. We've got that Rosario's Full Light Pink again. We've got the Lang Yavol again. Then you can kind of see there's the Bolero in the Tôt le Matin. And then this here, the main base, this is Cascade Heritage in the color 5618. So that's just, this is like kind of like a plain off-white. And I love Cascade Heritage. Their sock yarn is so nice. It's 75% merino and 25% nylon, but somehow it's like way softer and silkier than a lot of other yarns with the same combination, with the same content, but it's really, really soft. And I just think this color combination looks so cute. It's giving like Elle Woods Goes Golfing, and she's got like a pink golf cart, and she's wearing like these cute little socks with her little golf shoes. I think it's so, so cute. It's just a vibe. I'm absolutely obsessed with how this turned out. However, I am not looking forward to weaving in the ends. I'm sure in the instructions there was something about weaving in ends easier. I was too lazy to read that, so I just literally cut every time I had to change colors, which now means I have like 50,000 million ends. Look at all those ends. Oh my God, I know. What am I doing to myself? Like, it's so much. It's like thick, girl. Like, it's thick. So I'm gonna have a really fun time doing that. It's so much ends. It's like what? It's like vomit. It's like vomiting out the ends. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I just might tie them off and see how it goes. But I think it's super cute. Another thing to note about this particular one compared to my other color work is that because the floats, they're like longer floats in this one, it's not as stretchy versus this one, because the floats are a lot shorter. It's way more stretchy. So that's also something to note. If you have quite high arches and you have trouble with color work, this is actually quite a good one if you need the extra stretch, because you're pretty much almost never having to catch floats. Like, I don't think there was any point in which I had to catch floats, to be honest. Yeah, so it's really good in that sense that like it's stretchier, you don't have to catch floats. And it's just super, super cute. And it's great for scrap yarn because you use hardly any yarn like for each of these colors. So super, super cute, super obsessed. I'm in love. I think it's so adorable. I just think it's so cute. And maybe I'll start golfing just so I can wear these socks. Also, I'm keeping all of I'm keeping this project in this little bag here. This bag actually is from Officeworks, which is like Australian staples, I guess. It's just a pencil case. It's a pencil case from Otto. Oh, Jesus. It's a pencil case from Otto, and it's got this cute little like embroidered flowers. It's like kind of like a pink liner And it's just perfect for keeping a sock project in. So if you're in Australia and you happen to come across the Officeworks, like don't overlook the pencil cases because they're really good. They're like very, very cute. So yeah, just handy little tip there. Uh-oh, I ran out of battery. Okay, so my battery died, so I quickly had to replace it. So we are back. Now we have 2 more whips and a really fun one. A whip that I actually started today, and I didn't actually think I would have a chance to show you, but every Saturday I catch up with my knitting friends and we go to like cafes or like little Woolies or like community centers, and we just like sit and knit and have fun. But sometimes they bring their fiber and they spin. And at the Bendigo Wool and Sheep Show, I did pick up a drop spindle and some fiber because I really wanted to give it a go. And my friend Petra has been wanting to teach me how to spin for a little while now, and I finally decided that yes, this is the time I'm going to learn how to spin. And she did shit. I spun today. Oh my God, I'm like thrilled. So I'm very happy with myself and my progress so far. So when I was at the Bendigo Wool and Sheep Show, or the Australian Wool and Sheep Show it's called, I picked up some fiber from Cat and Sparrow, and this is the fiber here. Like I've got 100 grams actually, but I'm just showing you a bit. But it's this beautiful color. Called I think like Petal, and it's a blend of Corriedale, Shetland, and like nylon. So it's like a sock based yarn, and it's so beautiful. I don't know if I'm showing you really, but it's got these like pinks and purples and yellows, and it's just like divine and super soft and super lovely. And the lady at Catonsborough was like, oh my God, so enthusiastic, so nice. She was like showing me kind of the basics of spinning. She advised me like this would probably be like a good blend because Corriedale is like nice and grippy, so it's like good for beginners because I have no idea how to spin. I've never spun any yarn before. She was really helpful, and I also bought the drop spindle from her as well. And then today Petra sat down with me and she taught me how to spin, and look, this is how much I've got. This is what I've spun so far. So this is the drop spindle. It's like 3D printed. It's really cool. And then look, that's the yarn. I spun that. Now of course, like this isn't the neatest yarn. It's not very even. It's very thick and thin. It's very all over the place. But for my first try today, like first ever time learning how to spin, I am like so happy with that progress so far. Like Petra is a master and she has taught me, oh my God, so well. She was so helpful. Big shout out to Petra. Thank you so much for teaching me how to spin. Oh my God, like I feel on top of the world. It's so cool. Like it's really cool to make a garment and make a fabric yourself, like to actually knit your own clothes. It's one thing to knit your own clothes. I think that's already like amazing, but to knit, like to spin your own yarn to knit into a garment for yourself, that's even more insane. Like that's even crazier. Like, this to yarn that I can use to knit with, that's crazy. I did this by hand. Like my hands did this. I did this with my hands. Like, isn't that crazy? And isn't it also like just nuts that when you think about it, like knitting in terms of like the actual principles and like technique, like the principles of knitting and spinning, I feel like haven't drastically changed from, I feel like, 1,000 years ago. Maybe that's a bit too much, but like hundreds of years ago, and we're still doing it now, and it's still like creating really amazing stuff. Like I just think that's really cool. I don't know what I'm saying, but I just think it's really cool. And so I'm super proud of myself. I'm super happy with this, and I can't wait to keep spinning because I really thought it was a lot scarier than it is. But Petra is such a good teacher that I feel like I was able to like spin on my own pretty quickly, actually. Yeah, obviously I have a lot of learning to do. Some of this is pretty heckin' thick and some of it's pretty really thin, but I'm just like so happy. so happy with this. So I can't wait to do more spinning. It's at 100 grams, so I hope I get like something like 300 or maybe 250 meters out of this. I really don't know, but yeah, I'm like that's my first ever spinning whip. How cool is that? I have no idea what I'm going to make out of it. I could make a sock, a really thick sock, or I could, you know, who knows what I'm going to make out of it. But very, very cool. And this drop spindle is really cool too because it's 3D printed and it's not like too heavy. It's really easy to use. And these things here, like they slide out and they're interchangeable. So if you wanted to like pick different colors, you can. And this is also from Cat and Sparrow. So super, super happy so far with my first ever spinning experience. I can't wait to do more. Okay, last but not least, thank you so much for sticking around. This is very much just like a random cast on. I think I was kind of doing my salty day sweater and I wanted something very simple. And so I just decided to cast on a Sophie scarf. And this is it. So this Sophie scarf is actually made with holding 2 strands of Amano Yarns Uma, which is like an alpaca mohair silk. And I've had this color in my stash for a while. I originally got it for a test knit that didn't work out. And so I have lots of this left over. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to make a Sophie scarf because I want a scarf that's maybe just a plain color, because I have one in Works Neon Lights, which is like a speckled rainbow on a cream base. I really love that and I wear it all the time, but I'm like thinking maybe I want something lighter, something that's like a bit more solid in color. So I decided to cast on this, and it's a beautiful jade green color. I've obviously only started. And it's so pretty and so fluffy and so light. I love an I-cord edge. And I think it's really lovely. It's really not much to talk about, but essentially you cast on and you work an I-cord edge as you're doing like garter stitch until you get to a certain point, and then you start like decreasing after you've done like the increased side. So it's a very basic pattern. There's really not much to talk about, but yes, I think this will just be kind of like a good project if I want to take it with me on a trip, or I want to just do something really simple and satisfying. It'll be something I just like work slowly away on until I eventually get a scarf, because I'm not really in a rush. Although I really thought that, because I was like, oh, well, it's coming up to spring. It's going to get warm. I don't want, should I really be making a scarf? But it's like freezing. It's like 15 degrees Celsius right now. So it's not freezing, but it's cold because it's windy, because I live near the sea. So that wind from the sea is cold. So I think scarf is never a wrong decision, because in Melbourne, you never know what the weather's going to be like. Yes, so that is absolutely everything I have for you today. I really appreciate you guys sticking along and watching all of this. Bit rambly, but they're always a bit rambly, you know. I'm just rambly. That's just me. But yeah, I am so excited to get into my whips. I might have, bitten off more than I can chew. However, I'm having a great time. So that's what counts. And as long as you're happy, and as long as you're happy, you can cast on whatever you like. Again, if you would like to participate in the giveaway and have an opportunity to win the sock project book, the lovely handmade brooch, as well as a mystery skein of sock yarn, feel free to comment down below with the project that you would first make out of the sock project book, and make sure that you are subscribed to me here on YouTube and follow me on Instagram. Like I said before, I'll also make a post on Instagram, so you will be able to comment on that, and that'll also put you into the running to win this giveaway prize. I will be announcing a winner in my next podcast episode, which will be 4 weeks from now, and it will be up to the winner to reach out to me on Instagram to claim their prize. So if you see anyone contacting you looking like me or anything like that, offering you that you're the winner of the giveaway, it won't be me. So I will be waiting for you to reach out to me. If you do not reach out, then I will redraw the winner in the next podcast episode after that. So please make sure to check out the next episode to see if you're the winner, so that I can make sure that these cool prizes get to you. Again, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone, all of my subscribers and everyone who watches. It's just so awesome that I get to communicate with you guys and have this little community where we can talk about knitting and just like nerd out. I love it. So until next time, good luck knitting, and I hope you don't have to frog anything back. So I'll see you later. Bye.